As many of you have found within Sierra's new lineup, she can sometimes encounter you with a back-to-back Lapras team. The secret here for beating the Lapras onslaught will be Poliwrath, but possibly also the other members in this team. Let's just say with an emphasis on Poliwrath, and I'll explain why while showing you in this video. I was happy for the video's purposes, although I knew that it would be a more difficult fight, that both of the Lapras Sierra was using had Frost Breath as their fast attack. You can resist Ice with Poliwrath because of its water typing in there, but I also included Lucario and Scizor in the party. We may elaborate on them a little bit later, but Poliwrath really is the star here for probably 75% of the fight, I would say. Your Poliwrath likely will have Mud Shot like this one here if you've optimized for it, but having Power Up Punch as the charge attack is going to help you a lot in the Team Go Rocket fights. I don't really do PvP at all, but I'd imagine in the GBL as well. Much of the victory in these kinds of battles can be attributed to spammy charge attacks, and Power Up Punch is one of those. Of course, it's also going to boost your attack, so that's an added bonus there, but of course you want to look at what's going on screen. We can just fire this off so rapidly, and Mud Shot does generate energy pretty quickly. I think overall it's going to be better to have Mud Shot, you know, but like obviously Rock Smash would be super effective against Lapras. It's just Mud Shot gives us a lot of other advantages with it, and Poliwrath can also have Bubble as a fast attack, but I probably wouldn't advise that here, of course. But the point is, essentially what I was getting to is that even with your Mud Shot right now, it's like it's going to look like you're doing minuscule damage, so you should see after we block this Hydro Pump, which by the way is okay if we have shields, it's definitely okay if the Lapras wants to attack us with a charge move, because that's going to actually put a stagnation period on the Team Go Rocket team themselves. So if you have never really done these Team Go Rocket fights, or if you're wondering about it, you know, this is mainly for people who are new to them. If you use a charge move, or if they use a charge move, or if either team switches out, that could be from manually switching, or it could be from a Pokemon fainting, like this Lapras here right now. You're going to see that when this new Lapras comes out, I told you it was a back-to-back Lapras team, well, Sierra is just going to stand still and do nothing for a total of like 5 or 6 turns. It depends on which one you're talking about, the switch or the charge attack. And so you're going to see right there, it got us another chance while Poliwrath is literally one hit away from fainting. It got us another chance to generate some energy, and you don't want to use your charge move until just before they're going to be out of that stagnation period. But again, to go back to that original point, I know I went on a bit of a tangent. You're going to see that Mud Shot, it didn't do like a whole lot of damage on its own. You are doing damage, it's just going to look so minuscule, I guess, compared to how much HP Lapras has too. So anyway, we did throw out Scizor. I was kind of actually thinking maybe I should throw out Lucario. I was just sort of panicking, you know, because our Poliwrath you saw was only one hit away, like I said. Scizor is going to resist Ice as well, the Steel typing in there. So this is to talk about our other members of the team, let's say. But certainly Scizor a lot more squishy, and we do have a decent moveset on it. I mean, for this purpose, I should say. Fury Cutter as the fast attack, X Scizor as the charge move. It's just that Lapras is not, you know, we're not going to be dealing super effective damage with that, and so that's one, I guess, disadvantage you'd have right there. And Scizor is down right now. I also don't have my Scizor, I should say, powered up as much as that Poliwrath was, but you could see Lucario came in and finished the job. The good news here, I would say, is that, well, it's good news, bad news, right? Because this Houndoom, I was not expecting Houndoom. I actually was kind of preparing for Shiftry maybe at the end. That's why we had Scizor, so that would have been a good Pokemon. Wow, you saw all that damage that Lucario did right there, and that's because this Lucario actually has Aura Sphere. You could kind of replicate a lot of things with Lucario with Power Up Punch, because that's, you know, Power Up Punch is what we were using with Poliwrath, but Poliwrath really had that resistance down, had the Mud Shot, but I mean, counter Power Up Punch, you're gonna see a lot of good with that with Lucario. But like I mentioned, this one had Aura Sphere. I have like 3 or 4 Lucarios for different purposes. The bad news would have been that Houndoom using Fire Fang against the Lucario, because that's obviously a Lucario has Steel, so that Fire Fang is gonna do massive, super effective damage on it. But the good news is that Houndoom having the Dark type in it is going to be very weak to the fighting, and so Lucario, again, Aura Sphere so powerful, and we were able to generate a little bit of energy at the beginning of the fight with Lucario. I hope you guys noticed, you know, we did like 1 or 2 attacks with Lucario before switching it out at the very beginning. That was like the first few seconds of battle. We can replay that on screen. So then, by the time that we came down to having Lucario at the end, it had already generated, let's say, like half the energy, I think, for that Aura Sphere. Maybe it was more like 40% of that energy. So in the time it took for basically Sierra to switch into a new Pokemon, which was Houndoom, Lucario had generated enough energy because of that stagnation period I mentioned before. So that was great. The only other thing that I would say is good about this lineup is that Poliwrath is hopefully going to be more accessible to you guys now that Poliwag. It's in one of the field research quests for July, and I think that's catch 5 Pokemon with Weather Boost, so look out for that if you are able to go out and spin stops. I realize not everybody's going to be able to, so if you just look at it on the other hand, Poliwag has been in the game since the very beginning, so at whatever whatever point you came into the game. I'm just hoping a Poliwag was accessible to you enough, somewhere in that time frame. So we've got plenty of other videos covering the Team Go Rocket leaders now that their lineups have switched, so please feel free to click an end screen on screen, and I'll catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.